okay? Now, some of you might wear stockings and hold-ups with a belt, you know, with the attachments. Some of you might not bother. And some of you will be with shoes on, some of you will be with shoes off. So I'm just going to try and cover all bases, okay? Firstly, let's talk shoes. When you're about to do any form of stocking removal, obviously you want to take your shoes off with purpose. So what you might do is bring yourself up into a V-sit and with the foot, flick. What you need to make sure you do is kind of give them a little shove as they're coming off with your foot, because what you don't want them to do is just drop directly under your feet, because then when you come up, they're potentially going to be in your way, okay? So that is sitting in the V-sit, taking your toe into your ankle, and as you sort of drag it down, give it a little kick as you're pushing it off, okay? The other thing you can potentially do is take them off with your hand with purpose, okay? So what you might do is you might sit yourself down, you might sort of lean into your chair a little bit, do a leg stroke and sort of release with your hand and then give them a little throw away. It really does depend on you, your body, what you're comfortable with, and, you know, making sure that you're not sort of straining your back or putting you in a position where you're kind of then like, oh my God, I've got to try and reach my foot and things like that, okay? So think about you, your body, how you sit in the chair, how you hold your upper body, how you look after your back, all right? So let me just show you that one again. So with that one, we would do some sort of leg stroke. So you could do a long leg stroke and then bring yourself down and sort of hook your finger in. Or you might just come up into a half sit, as if you're going into a secretary, stroke down your leg, hook your finger in, release, come up with a strong back, and then throw your shoe out the way, okay? So that's your shoes. Let's quickly talk about suspender belts and things like that, all right? If you are wearing a suspender belt, you need to factor that into your movement, because obviously you can't take off your stockings if they're still attached. So you kind of have to make it part of the move. So from a sitting down point of view, yeah, again, what you might do is do a leg stroke, and then as you come up, hold here, keep a nice strong back, don't allow yourself to slouch in your chair, hold a nice strong back, unclip, or you know, create your whatever you need to do, or if you're got ones that have got hooks in them, yeah, unhook, and then release, okay? So you make the movement purposeful, don't make it look like you're quickly trying to, you know, unscrabble them so that nobody can see. Stay strong, make it part of the move. Use your chair if you need to, or sort of bring the leg out, come down, come up, unhook the clip, and then bring the leg back in together. If you're standing, okay, and you're doing a movement where you're standing, just roll mine back up again. What you would do is you would put yourself in a nice strong position where your leg's on the chair, and you would say, do a little bit of hip rolling, stroking your, you know, glute area, your nice butt cheek area. And then what you would do is keep the hip roll going while you undo the strap, yeah? And release the strap that way. Again, likewise, if it's underneath, what you can do is you can stroke down the leg, look at the audience as you come back up, come into your leg, have a little wiggle whilst you're playing down here and undoing what you need to do, or while you're unhooking what you need to unhook. Think about your movement, try not to stay too stagnant, and unhook and unclip there. Lots of things that you can do, you know, whilst you're trying to distract them from what you're doing down here. You could be blowing the audience a kiss, licking your lips, yeah, you can be doing all sorts. You could just simply be having a wiggle or create a nice move, quick unpop with purpose, and then bring yourself back up again. So just make sure whatever you're doing, it has a place in your movement or a place in your performance or a place in your routine. Don't ever make anything look like you're just quickly trying to do something before anybody sees what you're doing. Make it part of the performance, make it part of the movement, make it purposeful, yeah? Okay, right, so the shoes are off, the suspender belts are undone. Let's crack on with the removals, okay? So I'm going to teach you 3 versions. I'm going to teach you 2 sitting down and 1 standing. So, let's do a sitting down one, where you can use your chair to support your upper body, okay? So what you might do is get yourself side on with your chair. Now I use my back hand as my safety hand, not only to sort of support my posture, but also to make sure that I don't get too sort of forward or back in my chair. So I'll lean back slightly. I might do a leg stroke. As I come up, I'm going to take my legs into a secretary seat. And I'm using my back hand to keep myself nice and lifted in my body posture. I'm then going to release that back hand, take my thumbs into the top bit of my stocking. I'm going to bring it up and under my knee, okay? I'm then going to take the hand that's closest to the back of the chair. I'm going to place it on the top of my knee, and with my remaining fingers, I'm going to drag the stocking down to my heel and towards my toes and lift my toes towards me. I'm then going to release this hand, lift my body a little bit higher, extend my leg, and then I'm going to pull and bring it through in a nice longer move, okay? So I'm not rushing it, I'm not yanking it, I'm making it a tease and a purposeful movement. Let me show you that again on the other side, okay? So, we have just stroked our leg, we've come up into secretary seat, we've taken the hands, we've hooked over the knee with both hands. This hand then comes back just to support my body and my posture. This hand stays hooked in and I drag it down towards my ankle and my toes, yeah? I then pull, 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 ever so slightly, I'm barely moving. I then place my hand on the chair again for support. I push my leg long, and I pull it up and around my body, okay? I'm going to quickly get dressed, and then I'm going to show you another one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another one where we actually just keep the foot closer to the floor. So we would start off the same. We would do our leg stroke, come up into our secretary seat. We would take the fingers in the ends of the stocking and bring it over the knee, okay? What I would then do is place my hands back on my chair so that I've got my body supported. I bring my foot down to the floor, and as I do, I bring the stocking with me. So as I'm lowering my foot from here to here, I'm also lowering my hand down towards my ankle, okay? Like we did previously, I'm then just going to drag it round my toe, okay? And then I'm going to pull, 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 and bring it out with the arm lifting behind me, okay, so that my body posture is still supported and I'm just focusing on moving the arm as opposed to the leg as well. Let me show you that on the other side. So, just to recap that again, we would do a leg stroke, come up into secretary. Both hands the same, hook over and bring it over the knee. Place my hand back on the chair for support. As I bring my foot down to the floor, I also bring the stocking with me, yeah? So I'm sort of dragging it further down my leg as well. I then just hook it round into my toes, so I lift my toes to the ceiling so I can hook and pull, and then I sort of switch the direction of my hand and my toes, and I pull it up from behind and bring it out that way instead. Okay? So that's another way for you to pull your stockings off using a sitting down format. Let's get dressed again and let's do the standing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the standing stocking removal. Now I actually find these easier, and I think a lot of people do, as long as you can keep your balance, okay? If you've got a really good core and really good balance, you could even move on to do this without any chair or any support whatsoever, okay? But maybe start with something first and build up from that. So what we would do is we would pop the leg on the chair. Now, as I said to you, we very rarely just be stagnant in what we're doing. So up here we might have a little hip wiggle as we're going, yeah? But what we're going to do is the same principle. We're going to take our fingers, hook it in on the top of the stocking. We're then going to have a little wiggle and work the stocking down to the heel, take it under the heel, and as we lift the toe, we're then going to take our back hand and support ourselves on the chair. With the hand that's still on the stocking, we're just going to bring that leg round to the side, use our chair for support. We're going to lift the leg behind and peel that stocking, bringing our arm behind us and up towards the ceiling. And I call it creating a bit of a swan movement, okay? So let me show you that again on the other side. So what we've just done is leg up, take the fingers into the top of the stocking. We're going to work the stocking down to our ankle. Once we're there, we're going to lift the heel and take it underneath the heel. We're then going to take our hand on the back of the chair and lift our toe to release it past our toe. We're then going to take the leg out to the side, just using ourselves for a bit of support on the back of the chair. Lean forward, take the leg up behind you, lift that arm up and over the head, and then there's your stocking. And again, like before, okay, with the gloves, once that's off, you can do so much with this. You can again do some nipple teasing and playing. You can do some swinging around. You can do some dismissing. You can put the leg back on, yeah, and do a little bit more working out. It's up to you what you do from there on, but just try and avoid lifting and peeling and then just letting it effortlessly drop, okay? Make sure it's part of your movement.